Guys, what is going on? My name is Memento, and welcome back to another Warframe video. This time we're going to take a look at Hydroid Prime. Now, before we get started, I've been out of the loop of Warframe for like the past 3 months or so I had absolutely no idea that Hydroid Prime was even out, let alone that he had an entire rework. So I basically logged on one day, saw that he was available. I tried to go farm for relics, I got bored, I just dumped some plat to buy it after like another week waiting for the prices to go down. Then I had to build it, which takes forever, and then forma it, and now we are here. And that's the reason why this video is a little bit late compared to how I usually release them around the same week that new Prime access is released. But yeah, Hydroid Prime. With that all being said, let's get right into it. So, as I always like to start out with looking at new Warframes, I like to take a look at their fashion, because we all know fashion frame is the true endgame. Well, at least for most people. Myself, not really. But I personally think he looks really awesome. At first, he had that tentacle hentai monster look to him. Basically, it's like he transformed from Davy Jones to Blackbeard the Pirate, which is pretty funny. It's like having one mythical character turn to another. I still think it's pretty cool, blah blah, all that nerd stuff, yeah. He looks awesome. He's a pirate, basically. He's a pirate who likes to wear his own booty, because he's got gold all over him. He looks honestly pretty awesome. I really like the black-white with gold. I think it just looks really nice. And, you know, if you are more into fashion frame than I am, you might have a different opinion. You might not. You might agree with me. It's all opinions, but for myself, I think he looks pretty good. On a side note, his tentacle effects are different compared to standard Hydroid. Instead of being translucent, they have a new texture, and that texture, its appearance, is affected by your Hydroid Prime's appearance colors. So you can color your Hydroid Prime to your heart's content and get the tentacle color that you personally want. I stick with defaults, so it's nothing pizzazzy for me, but yeah, there's a lot that you can do. Now, fashion frame aside, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this. So we're going to take a look at the differences between him and standard Hydroid. You're getting the Prime buffs, so you're getting more armor, more shields, and more energy than the standard version. And that's actually kind of interesting because he is one of the few Prime frames to get 3 stats buffed. I think that the energy is the most notable out of the 3 that has been buffed for him. Of course, they have the ability to get energy in the void from the death orbs, although that isn't as prevalent as it used to be back when we used to farm in the void for parts prevalently, but now you kind of use the relic system. I mean, it's still good, especially if you're in endless fissures in the void. It's a very, you know, important factor. However, I wouldn't say it's that huge for him to be able to get energy in the void from death orbs. Other than that, I mean, he gets an additional D and dash polarity, and I think that's really good because he is Mastery Rank 5 Warframe, so he is, you know, accessible to noobs at quite an early stage. So with the additional D and dash, you're able to fit almost every mod that you probably want onto him with just a potato. You don't need to form him much. You can toss 1 or 2 in there if you want. But yeah, I mean, it's really good, and it's good for noobs. It's good for newer players, but noobs, whatever. It's the same stuff. His ability is, on a ground attack, you have a chance to spawn a tentacle. It's a little underwhelming, but it's nothing too relevant. It's funny. I actually did a ground attack and I saw a tentacle pop up. I'm like, what the hell is that? Because I didn't even know. But there it is. You can take that how you will. It's cool, I guess. I mean, it's nothing too relevant or special. So now let's get into the builds, the most important part, I believe. With Hydroid, we always go straight to the idea of Lootroid, the god of loot himself, Pilfering Hydroid. And that's the most classic thing that you can build for Hydroid. So there are 3 setups for it, at least I have 3 setups in my mind for it. The classic power string setup, you got blind rage, you got everything, the whole kit and caboodle. You know, just no power efficiency, you're just basically going for one big cast and you have the EV Trinity. Or you might have, you know, your focus skill for it, you might have Arcane Energize, you might have 1,000 energy pizzas and you can just feel yourself. But You know, that's the classic setup that almost everyone, you know, thinks of. Now, I used basically that, but minus Blind Rage, toss in Streamline. So now you have efficiency, and you have a decent amount of power strength. For myself, 190% because I don't have a maxed out Transient Fortitude, but it's still a lot, and I still think it's the best, especially if you can't handle the energy, you know, drain from Blind Rage. It's definitely the way to go, I believe. Now the last one is interesting because of the rework. Apparently now, you don't need to just kill them with the tentacles to get 100% drop at loot. You can just have them touch the tentacles to have the chance at loot, or the 100% chance. So this guy recommended to me low power strength, low duration, all in on efficiency and range, and just spam. And I tried it. Personally, I didn't like it too much, especially since he was a Necros, and apparently I was killing them so far away that he couldn't desecrate the bodies. So I didn't really feel like it was too effective. Maybe if you're running a double Necros and you're farming for polymer bundles on like Ophelia, maybe it'll be better. But personally, I would just go with power strength and still go for the tentacle kills because it just feels like the easiest option. So the next build is a little bit more interesting. It's Undertow. I actually had no idea that Undertow was this good. Apparently it is. It's the best, or one of the best I should say, scaling abilities in the game. And when I tested it out, it was pretty freaking awesome. I went to the Simulacrum. First I tested against, well, level 110 because my mastery rank is so low. But 110 Corpus, I don't even remember what they were. The big fat red ones, right? They died in mere seconds. They were just obliterated. Then I tested it out on corrupted heavy gunners, and it was a little bit more of a problem with them. Their armor is an issue, so that's why we have Corroding Barrage. So Corroding Barrage is basically, you cast a 100% chance of a status proc with your first ability, and it's super good. Basically, the idea is to cast it, proc corrosive on them, shred some of their armor, then make them drown in your puddle. You can also cast it while they're already drowning in the puddle, and they can get hit with the corrosive procs while they're drowning, and that works too. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to go that route, you don't want to have Corroding Barrage, you want to free up your mod space or something else, you can go with a corrosive weapon. The Tysis is the first one that comes to my mind, and you can have someone else shoot into your puddle as they're drowning, or you can just shoot them before you drown them. Either way, it works really well. I will say it's not that great against the Infested because, you know, the Nully Ancients and the Ancient Healers, they're both, you know, pain in the ass to deal with already. But I may be just doing it wrong, but I didn't really like it against the Infested. You could try it for yourself. It's up to you, but personally I just didn't like it. Now the last build is a little bit off the beaten path. It's a Jack of all trades build, or I call it the solo build because I basically am going to use this if I'm soloing, basically. It's supposed to be an all-purpose build, so the main thing that's taking advantage of is weapon finisher damage. So you would say Undertow in the air, fall on a bunch of enemies, then immediately disable Undertow, emerge from your puddle, and just kill them with weapon finishers as they're laying on the ground. And, you know, that's a pretty good, you know, way to do it. But basically, he can utilize all 4 of his abilities in this build. It's really good, and he can cast multiple ones in a row without, you know, much energy loss. He has a max efficiency on this build that's super cool. You can just play around with every ability he has, throw some tentacles here, Undertow there, you know, do his second ability there, Corroding Barrage, because we have Corroding Barrage in this build. It's super nice. So basically, it's just a fun all-around build that has self-sustained because we have Curvative Undertow. Now, Curvative Undertow is, you know, a very nice pseudo-heal for your teammates as well as yourself. You can be a pseudo-team healer. And to compensate for the massive energy usage when you have multiple teammates in your puddle, since Curvative Undertow, the energy drain increases as your teammate number, the number of teammates in your puddle increases and the longer they stay in it. Rage is there to help compensate for some of that energy loss. It might not compensate fully, but I still think it's pretty good. The best part about this build, and well in general about Hydroid, is that every single ability that he has some form of crowd control tied to it. He's a great crowd control frame. You know, he could do pretty much anything. He could heal yourself, heal your teammates, crowd control, get, you know, tons of DPS with Undertow. It's just a really good, you know, jack of all trades, and that's why I named it the jack of all trades build, or the solo build. I really do believe that this build is something that you should try. You might not like it, but I really do think you should at least give it a shot. So, final thoughts on Hydroid Prime. I think he looks awesome, and he plays even more awesome than he looks. I mean, some people might disagree with me. I'm looking at you, Alone Tenno. Yes, I read like plenty of you know, different posts, whether it be on Reddit or on the Warframe forums or on the wiki comment section. You know, some people have a vendetta against it. They don't appreciate it, they don't like it, and you know what? People are entitled to their own opinion, and I can understand some of their points. However, to myself, I think he's extremely good. He is, you know, the type of frame that I never ran prior to, you know, trying it out with the Prime version, but holy crap is he awesome. I really do believe that that rework was pretty good. The Undertow, I'm afraid of it getting nerfed. It might get nerfed, who knows, I hope not. But, you know, Pilfering Swarm, still as good as ever, I believe. Maybe not 100% as good, maybe it's only at 80%, but it's still really good. You know, Undertow is just incredible. Corroding Barrage, really good against Grenier, especially in the Void, when the Heavy Gunners and Heavy Gunner Eximuses and Bombards start just, you know, taking forever to kill. Get a few procs and corrosive on them, shred that armor. Curvate up Undertow, you know, heal your teammates, heal yourself, give yourself some self-sustain, and just basically a great frame all around. Definitely a frame that I would recommend to starters, like new players, because you know, a combination of self-sustain, crowd control, extra loot, it's all good. You know, it's really a good frame that I would highly recommend to new players to go out and get. Even if it's not the Prime version, go get the regular version. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I've got the weapons coming up next, so don't worry about that. But, yeah, until next time, my name is Memento, and thank you for watching.